Well, hi, and welcome to another song from the new Zoo Revue. Gather everyone around for this song. I know kids and grandkids will relate to this one. You know, back in the day when I was writing these stories and songs, I really wanted to tackle some subjects that maybe other kids' shows weren't doing. And this song and this episode, I believe this is one of those times. It's from the show called Violence. Well, I wanted to show through the characters, dialogue, and songs that fighting, violence, doesn't really accomplish anything. In fact, it just makes things worse. Well, in this episode, Freddy was being bullied at school, and he wanted to fight the guy who bullied him. And he thought he could win this fight because the fight was with little Timmy Frog. Well, then Charlie, being Charlie, he came on the scene and said that Timmy was going to have a substitute fighter in his place, Tough Harold. Now, Tough Harold, of course, was the prize-winning frog fighter at the pond, the toughest frog around. So you can imagine that Freddy was thinking twice about this fight, and he sang a song about it. I don't want to fight. And of course, Charlie, being Charlie, he thought that he was the greatest trainer in boxing history, so he set out to train Freddy to fight Tough Harold. Well, everyone at New Zoo, we didn't want to fight, so we had to think of some other way to solve the problem, and we sang a song about that. There must be another way. Well, it turned out Tough Harold sent a letter to Freddy via Mr. Dingle saying he wasn't going to fight Freddy because his little brother Timmy was always getting into trouble and always picking on other people. And get this, even Tough Harold said that violence doesn't solve anything. Well, he was a boxer and did boxing for sport, but he even said he was going to make Timmy apologize to Freddy in person because he knew that the way to settle things was to reason with people whenever you can. Well, everyone agreed that Tough Harold was the champ, and he had the right idea. And this is the song that ended the whole thing, and it kind of summed it up. Look to your heart, and here it is. When you look to your heart, violence will disappear when love comes on the scene. Well, you just can't be mean when you look to your heart. All the fighting will stop when dealing with your brother. You just can't act any other way. Well, sit down, talk it out, find out what he's about. Sit down, find out why. Come on, give it your best try. If you look to your heart, violence will disappear when love comes on the scene. Well, you just can't be mean if you look to your heart. All the fighting will stop when you're dealing with your brother. You can't act any other way. Remember, we're all one. There is no need to fight anyone, or whether you're a friend or a nation. Fighting won't help the situation. Well, if you look to your heart, violence will disappear when love comes on the scene. Well, you just can't be mean if you look to your heart. All the fighting will stop when dealing with your brother. You can't act any other way. If you look to your heart, if you look to your heart, if you look to your heart. Well, you know, it's true. Violence won't solve anything. But I've got to tell you, there are some things that we should fight against. I think we should fight against injustice. And we should defend the orphan, the widow, and the marginalized and oppressed. And we should do so aggressively. But here's the thing, we should do so non-violently. The means by which we fight should always be non-violent. I mean, you must try to respond to evil and violence with forgiveness, kindness, and love. Is that hard to do? Of course it is. But in the end, it's the only way to achieve real peace. Well, thanks for listening and watching, and I'll see you again next week for another song from the New Zoo Revue. Oh, and don't forget to visit our website, thenewzoorevue.com, and be on the lookout for Emmy Joe's new Zoo newsletter. Bye for now.